This is Inside Mside, your favorite podcast for all things Morningside. Here's stories from students, alumni, faculty, and more about what makes the Morningside experience so special. Welcome to another episode of Inside Mside, the podcast where you hear all things Morningside. Whether we're working with faculty, staff, alumni, students, hearing about everything that's happening here on campus and abroad. I'm really excited for today's episode. I'm your host, Alex Waters, the Alumni Engagement Director, and one of the big events that I'm in charge of running is homecoming. Now, it does take a village. There are multiple people helping me out along the way, but this is my first homecoming, so it's extra special for me, and it's the first homecoming for our new president, Dr. Albert Mosley, so I'm excited to showcase for him just what we have in store and just some of the great things about homecoming. But joining me today on the pod, we have two alumni that have been instrumental and been very active when it comes to alumni, whether it's on campus and outside of our grounds. So I'm excited to welcome both of them. Thanks for joining the pod.
Well, thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and why don't we start by just introducing yourself, telling your graduation year, a little bit of background about yourself, and we'll start with that. Cindy.
Okay, well, I'm Cindy Barrett Brewer, and I graduated in 1982. So crazily, this is our 40th, homecoming, and I can't believe it's been that much time. Honestly, yeah. I live here in Sioux City, and I just recently retired about 2.5 years ago. Very active in the community, love Sioux City. Morningside has really given me such a great education, and I learned a lot and got to have a lot of great experiences at Morningside. So I can't wait for homecoming and to see a lot of alumni come back, and there you go.
That's for sure. Randy.
Okay, Randy Hansen, class of 1972. So I came in 1968 with the largest freshman class in the history. I know that was disputed a little bit during the Reinders year, but there was some large classes, but those were large classes for Reinders. We had over 400 in our freshman class in 1968, and so
I didn't know that.
I've gone through quite a few homecomings here, staying in Sioux City after I graduated in 1972. I was in the retail business locally for 29 years. Owned a Ben Franklin store. Ran one in South Sioux, and then owned the one here in Peters Park, just right down from the college.
Did
for
you
20
really?
years.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and then we closed it in 2001 and made a career change and started to work for Morningside. When a year after President Reinders came in, I was hired to run the bookstore. So I ran the bookstore for 3 years. With my retail experience, he wanted to just do more than just sell books out of the bookstore. Wanted to market and get, Morningside apparel, Morningside t-shirts and sweatshirts and all kinds of stuff there. And so had fun with that for about 3 years, and then was approached by Tom Rice, the VP of Development, I guess with my experience and knowledge, institutional knowledge, I guess you can't teach, you just have to be here. Since I grew up around campus here, I mean, I went to Longfellow grade school just right across the street that is now where the
Rosen, the Rosen Ag Center with
the greenhouse is now. That I really knew Morningside from the 50s and 60s up to present. And so with that institutional knowledge, and we were just really kicked off President Reinders' first major campaign with all the infrastructure.
Yeah.
$60 million worth of infrastructure. So I did that for 13 years before I retired about 6 years ago. And it was fun to be part of the really transformation of the campus. $60 million, over $60 million worth of campus infrastructure that has changed. So I always tell people, if you haven't been back to campus, you just need to get back just to see the visual changes in the facilities and in the campus.
It is pretty incredible, isn't it? I mean, we've had a couple different episodes of the pod where we've talked with people that have had or been instrumental in some of the different changes. I mean, whether you're talking Jim Walker and his wife and others that, you know, have donated their time and money to be able to transform this campus. Campaigns like what you're talking about, Randy, it's just been incredible to see, even in the short time since my graduation. I mean, well, it seems short to me, but it's just amazing to look out our office to see that campus mall and just some of the fountains and everything that's been transformed.
Well, and it was extra gratifying or fun to be part of the development team, because I went to school in the same era, not the same year, but with Jim Walker, Tom Rosen, Ron Yockey, Craig Struve, Galen Johnson. I went to school in that era, so the late '60s, early '70s graduates really had quite an affection for Morningside College to be able to put their financial resources back into this institution to make it what it is today.
Yeah. Cindy, as we're looking forward to homecoming coming up in here really shortly, I wanted to just touch base on your class, because your class has been exceptional. We always celebrate the 50 and 60 year milestone, Randy, that you're a part of, that we're really looking forward to. But Cindy, you've had some good momentum with your class as well. Was your class at Morningside always this close and tight and wanting to come back, or what struck you this year?
You know, I think it's just our age, actually. And, you know, people are starting to, you know, explore other things. They want to reconnect. I find that myself now that I'm retired. And hopefully, you know, again, people will just come out for the activities, come to the Milestone Reunion Tent on Saturday and taste a Morningside in the football game. And then especially for our class, we're going to go, whoever wants to come, to Miles Inn Friday, the day before at 7 o'clock, and have a schooner and a Charlie boy, and just hopefully connect and talk over fun times and good times. So. Yeah,
there are a lot of opportunities to connect, most of which you can catch on morningside.edu/homecoming. That's where we've been directing everyone to go, because one of the things that I think a lot of people get excited about are the tours that they're able to take. I mean, Randy, you were talking about the transformation of campus.
Yes.
And what better way, if you haven't been on campus in 5, 10, 15 years or even more, to be able to see all of those different changes. And what's kind of great this year, I know it's been similar in years past, but we're bringing it back because it's been so popular, is having students be able to give those tours. And so students driving alumni around on golf carts, being able to show them different things and different features, and maybe how, whether it's donors that have made an impact here and named these structures after them, or, you know, what houses in different buildings, what majors or what departments are in different places. It's really kind of fun. Randy, talk a little bit about what you're looking forward to. You've reached a milestone now where you even get some special events, sometime with the president and otherwise. Talk to me about what this milestone means for you.
Well, I've been pretty active, you know, since when I got the position with Morningside 20 years ago. That I really started to connect and reconnect with a lot of back when I was an undergrad, the fraternities and sororities were quite, I mean, no women's sports. I mean, women's sports I don't think started till 75 or 76, and limited number of men's sports. And so you know, campus activity were, you know, a lot of the Greek system. And so I really try to stay, you know, connected with a lot of fraternity brothers over the years. I haven't done so much the last, you know, couple, 3 years, but oh gosh, we'd always have 10, 12, 14 back every year. And I reconnected or connected with 2 or 3. I think we got 4 from I think we had 6 or 7 graduated in '72. I know we've had, I think, 3 deceased, and of the 5 or 6 that graduated, I think 4 of us are going to be here at the
at the reunion.
Yeah. One coming from, well, 2 of us are still in Sioux City. One's coming from Alabama, and one's coming up from eastern Iowa there. So it's always great to see them. It's always great. Well, we had an event actually up in Okoboji a couple of weeks ago. The 7 Sons.
Yes.
Were 4 of those were from my fraternity.
Yeah,
and
really.
All 7 of them were Morningside grads, but 4 of them were from my fraternity. They were a little bit ahead of me. They most of them graduated like '67, and I didn't come to the fall of '68.
Okay.
But I had like guys that were seniors, when I was a freshman. Well, they were like freshmen or sophomores when those guys were upper classes. So I mean, it had some carryover and stuff like that, and so. It's been great to still have that connection 50-some years later. And,
no kidding.
We got to talk about that because they're still playing there, and they played twice for homecoming here, the 7 Sons.
Yeah, and I've heard all about that, and then I even sent an email out to all over about the 7 Sons going to be playing. So
yeah, because
it's a great show.
It would have been interesting had they actually asked up at Okoboji, because you see a lot of people, and I saw a lot of people there. But it would have been fun to say, for them to say, hey, all Morningside grads, raise your hand to see how many grads of Morningside were in the actual venue up there, the roof garden.
No doubt.
There.
Well, and I think we're keeping with that tradition as well. That's one thing that I've loved about homecoming at Morningside is not just the incredible food at Taste of Morningside. That's probably one of my favorite things that happens. I mean, I'm a big foodie, so you better believe that's where you can find me exploring all the different things or just reliving some of those different meals that I had when I was an undergrad. But also having that live music. And so that's something that I'm looking forward to as well this year. We're actually having Noah Towns and the other brothers going to be playing as well. So there's some Morningside alum. And so we're excited to welcome them back to be able to perform on the stage. And we kind of have a history of that. I mean, whether it's the 7 Sons, Noah Towns and the other brothers, last year was Above the Covers. All of them having Morningside alumni where they want to give back to their institution, play for their fellow alumni. And I think that's something that's really fun. That's for sure. And again, if you're wondering what the schedule of events are, make sure to check out morningside.edu/homecoming. And again, that's where you can actually register for some of the things that we've been talking about, whether it's the 50 and 60 reunion. Make sure that you register for that online. So if you're the class of 1962 or 1972, make sure that you're registering there, but also taking advantage of those alumni tours. Once again, I would just talk to you about that, being able to go around campus with some students, hear from their perspective of how campus has changed, what the different buildings are and what they represent. It's really an exciting thing. But also make sure to check out the website because you can see what vendors are going to be there for Taste of Morningside, learn a little bit about the band. It really is a great time. Cindy, you and I were talking earlier a little bit about it, and you mentioned the Milestone Reunion Tent. That's something I'm looking forward to this year. It's all brand new. It was something new that we wanted to try this year. It's the first year. And it's actually going to be an opportunity to celebrate anyone that's celebrating a milestone of 5, 10, 15, and so on, all the way up to 70 years, to where they'll be able to stop by, check in at the Taste of Morningside, be able to look for that tent, and really then be able to reminisce. We'll give them a pin that signifies the milestone that they've reached, as well as a cup and a free drink ticket for them to take with them and then be able to go around and really enjoy those different vendors. Cindy, now you've been a part of this for a long time. Is there anything else that jumps out to you as far as Morningside or any groups that you're looking to reconnect with? I know Randy mentioned Greek life. Were you Greek as well?
I was. In fact, I joined a sorority when I was a freshman and was very active all 4 years. And I was in so many different activities at Morningside. And you had brought up homecoming. Well, like for us, my first year, my freshman year, I was a flag girl, crazily, and we had parades back then. And then big parades. And then we would go to the game. And then, of course, they had a dance. And so I always had a date, luckily.
Yeah.
And, you know, then my sophomore, junior, and senior year, I actually cheerleaded for football. So that was just a big thing for, you know, Morningside and getting people together. And I think it's so important to keep up all those type of things to reconnect. And that's why when we were talking, I really like that milestone tent because it's informal. You can connect. You can stay as long as you want and then, you know, move on into the other. But, you know, again, I think people want to reconnect with Morningside, and they have time to do that now, especially my age group. It's like, come on, we're still fun, people.
Exactly. You got to have a good time, especially if you're retired or recently retired or even just taking a weekend to get away. Yes. Which I think is something pretty exciting, especially some of the alums that I've talked to or the fraternity brothers that I have, hoping to come back and just celebrate for a weekend, get back to campus and see what's changed. Because I meant to ask, Randy, what fraternity?
I was in Sigma Phi Epsilon.
All right, because I was Delta Sig. So Delta Sigma Phi, which I thought I saw in one of your photos you were wearing a sweatshirt, right? Or someone was?
I used to be a Delta Sig little sis.
Okay.
And then I was at 80 Pi.
Okay.
So, yeah, but, you know.
Because I've heard stories about both of these fraternities, you know, and sororities, surely.
We talk about the homecoming parades and everything.
And
we never resorted to the Animal House, Delta House deal on the homecoming parade. But no, we had the floats and I remember, you know, vividly my junior year. And I don't wish this on this weather on this homecoming or any homecoming. We got snowed out.
Oh my gosh!
It was our goal to win the homecoming. You know, we were I don't know. We were seen to always be on some type of probation, but anyway. So we were gonna really impress the campus. We were gonna win homecoming. So we put a lot of money into the floats. I think we had 3 flatbeds. We spent a lot of time to it, and we got 9 inches of snow on Friday night. Homecoming's called off.
Oh,
didn't
my
have the game
gosh.
or anything.
That is wild.
I think we got a little disappointed. We got a little carried away, and I think we trashed our float, you know, just because we didn't have homecoming. Yeah. After we played the game at the end of the year, we were playing USD, and we played the game. Still played the game, but we played at the end of the year. And we won the game on, scored on the last play of the game to tie it up. Be down by 1. We went for a 2-point conversion to win it, and we got the 2-point conversion, won it by 1 point.
Wow!
So that was fun, but we didn't. Our homecoming did not have homecoming my junior year because of the 9 inches of snow that we had.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That is wild. I mean, and it sounds like there have been a lot of other traditions. Anything else you guys remember, or having watched homecoming evolve over the years, some of your favorite things or things you've been a part of?
You know, they always had a talent show, get dressed up type of thing. Again, it was always a great time to celebrate in the fall, and, it was just a fun time. But again, I sat down and wrote down all the things I did for activities at Morningside, and it was pretty amazing. And the good thing is I didn't even really think about it until, I started writing it down. It's like, you know what? Morningside really gave me that basis to take risk and take chance and try new things and not feel like I was in a big school or I could do it, because they always had my back, for 4 years. And so it was a really good place to go to school and make friends and really start my career that way, but also, be involved in your community too.
Yeah.
And I think you guys do such a great job with that. I think it's awesome.
Well, and I think that you hit the nail on the head as far as just involvement in different activities and groups and organizations. And then you both have spoke about the opportunity to reconnect with them at homecoming.
Yeah.
Just seeing this as an opportunity to come together, gather together, reminisce, share those stories about homecoming floats and what have you, to really be able to rekindle those friendships. And just be able to chat with one another and learn from other generations. I mean, that's one of the benefits of the Milestone Reunion Tent is if you're celebrating one of those years, making sure to register and then talking with them about the changes they experienced or what milestone they reached, things like that. Were either of you in choir?
No.
Did you participate in choir at all? No singers? I was going to say because...
Well, I was a bad singer when we did serenades.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. We had our own individual choirs
Yes.
in our own fraternities and sororities. And so
that's
you like
funny.
to think you're a good singer. And after a couple of liquid refreshments, you thought you were a real good singer.
I bet. That liquid courage for sure.
Liquid courage.
Well, and the reason that I bring it up, we actually have an alum that works in this office that was really active in choir. She was telling me about the worship service on Sunday morning and how actually the choir performs. They invite alumni to perform with them. I think that's even exciting. You also have the Coda Awards that are taking place on Sunday. The action really starts on Friday. On Friday, you can start with your campus tours. That's also when we have those the 50 and 60 milestone. You have the dinner that's taking place. But there's also some fun things happening for athletics. You both talked about your involvement in various things. That's one thing great, too, is that they're bringing the athletics back and encouraging alumni to participate. Hopefully not, working them too hard against the players that are playing right now. But we have the Morningside Basketball Alumni Tournament, as well as the Mustang Relays that are taking place in the swimming pool for any pool team or people that swam competitively. And then there's even going to be a tennis celebration with Coach Mason and talking with the new coach, Alex Struck, a little bit about the alumni tournament that's taking place on Saturday. Really, no matter your involvement, homecoming is the place to be to really be able to reconnect, whether it was athletics or organizations that you were a part of. So I'm really looking forward to it. And if you want to check out all of these things that are happening or register for any of the opportunities, make sure to check out the website, morningside.edu/homecoming. We'll make sure to link it down below. But I tell you what, the two of you, I'd really appreciated your time and ability just to talk and reminisce about previous homecomings. Any last thoughts or any encouragement for people to join you as we're going into this homecoming season?
Well, just come to campus, really. And my motto is just show up.
Yeah.
Just show up. Attend one of these things or make a day of it with your family, spouse, whoever you want to come, or come by yourself because you're among friends. You're here. So come, and we're going to have a great time.
We're all Morningside, that's for sure.
That's right.
Randy, how about you?
Well, besides the couple of events that are official for the class of 1972, after we have the dinner's at 5:30. I don't know if we're going to be going that late into the night, but we'll be going if people can't make it into the dinner and that. We're just going to hook up at Bob Rose afterwards.
Oh, perfect.
So if you're coming in late, we'll try to hook up down there. Also in the morning, I think there's a little bit of a brunch, but I am getting a tent from my son-in-law, a canopy that will have just a little bit of a tailgate for the class of 1972. Obviously, anybody a little bit before, a little bit after, that are right in our era around the class of 1972, more than welcome to show up at the tailgate there that we'll have a couple hours before the football game.
Yeah.
So those aren't officially on the schedule, but
on the website, but there are plenty of different opportunities
that we'll have there. So
yeah, just make sure if you're listening to this, you're interested in any of these opportunities, you can always get a hold of me. My email is WATTERSA at morningside.edu. Alex Waters, we'll link it down below. But really, I wanted to highlight, I think you both touched on so many of the different formal opportunities to get together, but also the informal ones, and just the chance to come back and reconnect. Yes. You know, I'm looking at the years for the milestone tent, the alumni milestone reunion tent, and really just looking at the classes of 2017, 2012, 2007, 2002, and so on. So if your graduation year ended in a 2 or a 7, we are likely celebrating you. So come back to Morningside, and even if you're not celebrating a milestone, make sure to come back and really just reconnect. Get to know campus, the changes that have happened, see before your very eyes just kind of the transformation that's taken place at this wonderful institution, and reconnect with those friends and fellow alumni. It's a great weekend to do it. Again, October 8th and 9th is that Friday, Saturday, or 7th, 8th, and 9th. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll have events all weekend. Check out the website below to see the full list. But hey, I look forward to celebrating with the two of you, and I know we're going to be celebrating with a lot more individuals. Thank you so much for being on this podcast, this edition of Inside Mside. I truly appreciate both of you.
Well, thank you, Alex. Yeah. And go Mustangs!
There you go. Woo! There's that cheerleader in her, Randy. I like it. Thank you so much.